Today we are here at Sweet Corn Charlie's. It is springtime outside. If you've noticed here in the last days here, we're here today at the 11th of March, and the last few days it's been coming like spring. We're here and had a nice rain. We've had flowers coming up, and the grass is turning green, so our thoughts of spring. So I thought I'd give you a little heads up at what's going on at Sweet Corn Charlie's, where we're providing you with summer goodies. And this is what we're doing for you to provide these summer goodies. You see, there's a lot of life going on here at Sweet Corn Charlie's right now. We are in one of our high tunnels. We have 8 of these things to provide tomatoes and peppers for you in the summertime. We start them early in these high tunnels so that you can have them by the 1st of June. And you'll see tomatoes that we're planting in just a little bit, that we are planting to be harvested starting the 1st of June. We have to start them now and keep them very, very warm. But we do a lot preparing the soil for this, because as you see, this would be very expensive real estate. So I'd like to tell you about what we do here at Sweet Corn Charlie's to give you a special tomato. You're seeing a green in here. This is called a cover crop. This year we're using cereal rye as a cover crop. It grows all winter. What we do in the fall is we take out all the tomato plants. We remove all the old plants and take them out into the field far away, so that any diseases on these plants does not stay in the soil. So that goes out to the field. And then we come in and we add compost into this soil, and we till in the compost with our tillers. And then we seed a cover crop like this cover crop here right now. A cover crop does a couple things. It keeps the soil alive. You've heard the term, if you're a gardener, of living soil. When soil is left bare for a long time, many of the organisms that live in the soil, the bacteria and things that's naturally there to do good things, they die because they have no food. So we have something here growing through the winter. So our soils are always alive because something's always green growing on them. Then that's what's going on here. Also, it's taking the energy from the sun. All that solar energy that comes down and strikes the ground, if the ground's bare, it absorbs nothing. But here, our plants are absorbing it, catching it, and adding nutrients to the soil like God did originally to make our bountiful soils. Plants grew on it, and they added nutrients from the sun, and they become enriched. Also, what happens is they're grabbing carbon from the air and are releasing free nitrogen. All this greenery is going on in the wintertime, and it's functioning in here in this high tunnel. And it's grabbing the carbon and putting it in the soil. So they do two important things here. They enrich the soil. Now what we will do here is we will mow this now, as we've done in other greenhouses that you will see where we're planting. That has already been mowed, and then we till it. We till all that organic matter in, and then we cover it with plastic and stakes and all those things. So this is how we prepare our soil. So it's organically enriched soils. We do use a few minerals to balance our soil. We test the soil and say, well, does it need zinc, copper, molybdenum, all those little minor nutrients to make our soils perfectly balanced, so that our tomatoes have every little minor element that they would want to provide the optimal tasting tomato and nutrition tomato. So this is a Sweet Corn Charlie high tunnel. We started doing this back in 1989. So we've had a few years under our belt doing this. But all of our June and July tomatoes and August tomatoes are grown in here, in these conditions. This is one of our small grower houses that has been tilled up and has been covered with plastic. Our drip lines are in and our stakes are in. You notice our stakes here. We tie our tomatoes up on these so they stay off the ground. But today we're planting tomatoes in here. This is a sterile environment. This plastic here, if you look at it, I'm looking at it too, is clean and sterile, so there's no diseases from the soil. We put our tomatoes on these stakes. We tie them up to this so they do not lay on the ground. This enables us to do several things. This keeps the tomato off the ground. The plastic keeps all weeds out, so we use no herbicides. And also there's no diseases coming up. And then the tomatoes are on these stakes. so they're held up in the air, and that keeps us from having to use fungicides and insecticides. So we're growing these things in this organically enriched soil, in this sterile environment. And we come in here and we're all clean, we're all very sterile. And so this avoids us having to use all these asides that you're using in your grocery store tomatoes. If you grow them in your garden, you can grow like we're doing, but if you go to the grocery store, they have to spray their tomatoes about every 3 days with everything that man has ever thought of to keep them looking nice. They're cheap, but they've been sprayed with all kinds of things, and they don't have the enriched soils that we have here, that we try to give to our customers. Today is a nice early spring day, and we are planting tomatoes in here, our very first ones. And Tammy and Rahim are over here planting tomatoes. Carefully placing them in the ground, very, very carefully. And we provide a lot of heat for these things too. Being here in March, we have to keep this at 70 degrees. And as you see, tomatoes need light, and it's a greenhouse. And so it takes a lot of energy to feed this. So you see Tammy carefully placing a tomato down in the soil. These are our little babies. This tomato will be ready to eat about the 1st of June. These tomatoes that we're using now.
That's all for today, folks. Thanks for tuning in. As the summer comes closer and closer, and that good Sweet Corn Charlie produce comes closer and closer to being on your table, we will continue to give you updates and information on how we get ready to sell you the best produce this summer. So keep checking in on our YouTube channel and on our Facebook page for continuing updates on how this growing season is going as we ramp up for the summer. And of course, check in for your start times for your own local markets, because as March comes to an end, so comes April, and as April comes to an end, so comes May, and as May comes, so comes Sweet Corn Charlie's. So make sure to check when your individual market is going to be opening up. But until then, we'll get to you on the next update on our growing season, and we hope to see you real soon. Have a great week, and we hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.